going on, Falcon fan? This is boy Rakundo coming back at you with another video. Today we're talking about Victory Monday and how can the Atlanta Falcons build off the win they had yesterday. Yes, everything was not perfect, but we did see some bright things. We're going to definitely talk about that. We're going to talk about it from an offensive standpoint, defensive standpoint. We'll talk about some positives and negatives, and we're going to talk about Desmond Ridder overall, what we can expect out of him moving forward and what we should expect out of Desmond moving forward. We'll talk about all those great things and see what we can actually get done today. So, guys, with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys out here to talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about. That's correct, guys. These Atlanta Falcons. So, guys, like I said yesterday, came in, gave my quick recap of the game because I was at the game. What I thought, like I said, the biggest thing for me was the energy in the building. It's continued to be really good for us over and over again. And I love and I really like the energy that we're bringing to our home games. Right now, the Atlanta Falcons undefeated at home. You gotta like that. And moving forward, I think we continue to do that. It'll give us, great opportunity to win all our home games this year. Um, so see no teams that come in that should scare us and think that we don't have a chance to win. But the way our team playing right now, especially from a defensive standpoint, playing at home and we bringing their energy to help our defense, I always think we have a chance to win games. So props up to the fans again. Let's continue to keep it loud in there and we keep doing the things we do. But guys, I did go back and I watched the film over again from the game. And for the most part, I thought everything that I seen at the game was pretty much what I was able to go back and look at the film. I thought some of the standout guys from the game, for me, of course, the way our young quarterback played, Desmond Ridder, of course, I thought he really, taking the scrutiny all week long, came in and really played good. Other guys that stood out for me, D. Alford is another guy that really stepped. Remember a guy that was undrafted coming in, made the team, and last year, and like just a solid guy. Um, just like Arthur Smith was saying in his press conference today, we got a lot of depth in the cornerback positions. Guys that we liked in the draft, like Clark Phillips, can't hit the field because of the way D. Alford playing. AJ Terrell went down. Mike Hughes came in. We still did not, miss a beat. So, the depth on the secondary is really good for us, and I like that, moving forward for us. But D. Alford, Nate Landman continued to play really well for us. I like the way Nate Landman has been playing, you know, every week since Troy Anderson went out. Even the game, before Troy Anderson came back, he played well. He says fit in very well. So the depth on the defensive end is really stayed out for us. Storm Norton that came in as well. Came in after Caleb McGarry went out. Actually looked good as well. So I like that. I really like the way that the the depth that we got on this team that's really showing up in these games. Bringing in the guy that we brought in, Eli Anuk. He actually had a pretty good game as well for us. They went inactive with a guy like Taquan Graham, but they bring in that guy in to stop the run. You like the way you see the depth, especially on the defense side of the ball, and some of the guys that filling in for some of our offensive players. But overall, the two guys that stood out for me yesterday was D. Alford, Nate Landman, and of course Desmond Ridder himself. All right, so let's get into some of the things that we definitely um, need to talk about. There, what's going on, James? You said rush the quarterback. Yes, we're gonna get into our defense in just a minute, and we're gonna talk about some positives and negatives from this game, what we can definitely take and grow from it. But today, I definitely want to start off with the offensive side of the ball and what I seen. One of my keys was getting out to a fast start. Of course, we did not. We were not able to do that. We went 3-and-out on the first drive. Arthur Smith made a change. We won the coin toss, and he actually went offense first this time, trying to get our offense jump started. Of course, we went 3-and-out. However, on the second drive, we had a really good drive to go in, punch the ball in. Desmond Ridder kept the ball on the keeper to actually get in for a touchdown. But there you have it. That first half was still the offense still could not gel, could not get on track, and we really didn't start to cut it on to the second half. So, just looking at offense from an offensive standpoint, I think that's really one of the things we still trying to figure out. Yes, we got the win. It was exciting, things like that. But from an offensive standpoint, still not getting on the starts that we need. Good thing we did put 7 points on the board early, you know, in the quarter. But at the same time, if you look at our overall starts in these first 5 games, that first half is still not where we want it to be. So that's one of the things we definitely got to work on from an offensive standpoint is being able to start faster. That's one of my keys. We second drive went well, nice. Wrinkles, Arthur Smith started getting this back with a almost been a busted coverage with the busted assignment with the verse back when Drake threw it to Janu because the guy shot up field, but Drake made a good move, threw the ball out. So that was really, really good to see that play take place, and that kind of jump started that drive for our offense. Arthur Smith trying a lot of things, like I said, going in his bag, getting Scotty Miller involved. So you gotta like the way that Arthur Smith really tried to, institute everybody, getting them into the game, and he went into his playbook, man. That's what you really wanted to see from Arthur Smith. Dave says here, what do you think about explosive plays given end up by the Falcons? Um, it really wasn't that many explosive plays yesterday. Only play that you really look at from explosive play, the double move in the red zone, that Jesse Bates kind of bid on. That was just a good play by Dalton Schultz and CJ Stroud, and Jesse Bates was trying to bait him all day to try to get him to throw a pick, but almost came down with one. Probably would have been a pick six. He would have come down with that one, but the defense really didn't give up that many explosive plays. They haven't really given up that many explosive plays all season. The two explosive plays they gave up, of course, one in Jacksonville with a busted coverage, and another in Detroit game with a busted coverage as well. But overall, from an assignment standpoint, execution standpoint, I don't think the Falcons have gave up that many explosive plays overall. I'm talking about during the fight. Yes, the disposal plays that they have given up, like I said, to my opinion, has been busted coverage plays overall. So, um, and that's throughout the whole 5 games. But overall, I mean, of course, they gave with the 2 pass interference. Um, in the Green Bay game, they got those. You can call those explosive plays because of course, in the NFL, pass interference is where the foul is called. So it got both of those plays got the guys in the red zone on Detroit. I mean, in with Green Bay in that game. So, but overall, if you look at the explosive plays from a defensive standpoint, um, Atlanta Falcons have not given up that many explosive plays in this game. I mean, this year, the 2 busted coverage, Jacksonville, Detroit, the 2 pass interference, and then of course the one yesterday on the double move to Dalton Schultz. So that's what I like. But if you like talking about offense overall, all right. So if we just looking at it from offensive standpoints, one of my other keys was being balanced. I know we needed to be balanced overall, and we were. Um, we had 36 rushes and 38 passes. If you're not saying that's not balanced, that's the definition of calling 36 rushing plays, 38 passing plays. That's completely balanced. Yes, the running game was not working the way we wanted to work, but Arthur Smith continued to rush the ball, which was really important because it kind of slowed down, their pass rush and things like that. So when we was able to pass our play action, it was really good for us. So even though when the rushing, the running game is not working like we wanted, you got to continue to rush the ball. I thought Arthur Smith did a great job with that. And then we did, hit a couple of big runs there, towards the second half because you're wearing those guys down over and over. Their whole game plan was to come in and stop us from running the ball, and exactly what they did, right? We only rushed for 96 yards in the game, but overall, 36 rushes, 38 passes. That's the definition of running a balanced game. And I thought Arthur Smith did a really good job with that yesterday. Dave said, "Don't get me wrong, this defense is building something. Just hope Coach Nielsen hang around." Hey, while I agree with you 100%, you hate to see when good defensive coordinators come in because when people start getting fired, people want to try to poach your coaches and stuff. Look what happened to the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, they go to the Super Bowl, the offense and defensive coordinator to get head coaching jobs. So that's a great point. I love Coach Nielsen's scheme where he's been all about this this season so far, and he really has these guys playing. If you just look at the his pass rush concepts, where he overload one side and have one guy in the middle, and just trying to curate the one on ones, the matchups where guys can get home and put pressure on the quarterback. The pressures are getting there, but for some reason we're just not getting the sack so far. So we got to continue to build on that. But I think we will. Let's see here. Do you think the next Falcon pass rusher is in college or already on the roster? That is a great question. And right now, nobody on the roster has really made themselves to be a dominant guy. And this is something that the Atlanta Falcons have had an issue with, throughout since probably John Abraham, right? We had Vic Beasley one year, put up 16 and a half sacks, but other than him, we have not had a dominant pass rusher. Um, so if they can't go out and secure a guy, maybe in free agents this off season, or maybe they can get a trade this year. Hunter is out there, and Danielle Hunter out there, a guy that's trying to get away from Minnesota that wants a big contract. If the Falcons, consider trade and making a trade that way, it could be something that they could consider. But right now, unless Armor ABKD start to come on, right now I don't think that our great pass rushers on the team yet. Maybe in free agency, maybe he is in college. And right now, I haven't been looking at who's out there, from a draft standpoint, to going out and see a dominant pass rusher in college. If anybody knows, because I'm right now, I'm entrenched into the season, so I'm not looking at the 2024 draft right now. But great question about the pass rusher. What's going on, EQ? Yeah, Zach Harrison definitely could have that potential. You know, he's a raw talent. He has all the attributes of being a great pass rusher. You know, learning from a guy like Calais Campbell. Getting more strength and game experience. Definitely, he could be that guy. But you got to show flashes, and he's going to get the playing time this year because he's rotating in and out with Calais Campbell. Because so definitely Zach Harris can definitely could be potentially be the guy that could take that step. But right now, we haven't seen that dominant guy that's in my opinion is going to really you know wake us up a lot. Um, Other things on offense, we had 490 447 yards total. That's really good, going over 400 some yards. Of course, the pass 329 pass, only 96 rushing yards, but still going over 440 yards. That's what we really want to see. Um, the plays, we ran 74 plays on offense yesterday, which is really good. That's also meaning that we was able to keep the time possession. Our time possession on offense yesterday was 35 minutes. That's what you really want to see. We was 50% on third down, 7 for 14. And guys, the biggest thing was Atlanta coming in, giving up so many sacks to the quarterback. Yesterday, 0 sacks for the Houston Texans. So you gotta like from an offensive standpoint, how the Atlanta Falcons really was able to tailor the offense and do good things. So other than that, the biggest issue that, in my opinion, that we had yesterday, we started off slow from an offensive standpoint, and we really didn't get going once again to the second half. And the other issue, when we did get going, we had 2 big turnovers in their side of the field, right? So we cannot have that. That's not what we want to do. We can't be turning the ball over. lucky we did get the win because those 2 turnovers were really good and a good defensive game that like it was yesterday. Turnovers could have cost us the game. So lucky our defense stepped up and kind of saved us on those 2 turnovers. But those are some big things that happened from an offensive standpoint. You said D offer something is something at that nickel spot. He is, man. He really is one of my standout players yesterday. Coming downhill, he had a tackle for a loss yesterday. Big play. His PPU on the crossing route. You know, getting in CJ Stroud, knocking the ball out. I just really like what D Offer has been doing all season long. And once again, it's when we came into we were talking about training camp battles. D Offer was going against Mike Hughes and Clark Phillips, and he just ran away with that starting position, it's their starting role, and you love to see D Offer, a guy, like I said, hometown guy from Georgia, undrafted guy coming from the CFL, earning a spot on this team because we know, the way Terry Fontenot, Arthur Smith, bring in guys, they're gonna get every guy opportunity. And that's what they did for the offer. So you have to, tip your hat off to what the offer has been doing this offseason. They also says, do you think we'll see a package with both D Clark on the field together despite the size? You actually might see that. One thing I like about what Ryan Nielsen said, guys go out and they practice, and when they do take snaps in practice, they're going up against, the ones and things like that. So you want them to feel to get opportunity. So they might have packages already set up for a guy like Clark Phillips and D Offer to be on the field at the same time. Right now they're probably both playing the same slot position, but God forbid if injuries happen, we do have depth to come in and bring guys like Clark Phillips and D Offer. Never know, they could definitely be on the field at the same time. Clark Phillips actually played, on the outside his whole college career. So playing nickel is really a new position for him. Despite his size, he actually played out on the outside his whole time during college. So that's really one of the things that we really like about Clark Phillips. That transition is kind of tough because you don't have that sideline, as your help. You're in the middle, a lot of more speedy guys coming in the slot. So that will be a big transition for Clark. But I actually think he's a dog, and I think he will definitely take the opportunity to be good about that. The last thing I want to say about the offense from an offensive standpoint, and we talked about all the weapons that the Atlanta Falcons have. And then one of the biggest things that I like about what the Atlanta Falcons have is 10. Listen what I'm saying, guys. 10 guys caught a pass yesterday from Desmond Ritter. Now, that is the idea of distribution, right? That's the idea of utilizing your weapons. That's what we really like to see from our offense standpoint. Like I said, Desmond Ritter, whatever he did to go in and correct himself, correct him and Arthur Smith sat down and figured out things, and they was able to get everybody involved in the offense yesterday. I mean, I think everybody that played from a skill position that came out on the field was able to touch the ball yesterday. Every last guy. So that's really good, and I like that. That's something that we need to continue moving forward, for these next 12 games of the season. Right. So, guys, that's all I have from an offensive standpoint. I really want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think about the offense as a whole yesterday. My only gripes I got is, of course, the 2 turnovers, and once again getting off onto a slow start. But once they got going, everybody touched the ball. Of course, penalties is another huge thing. I think Drew Dalman penalty was really huge for us. That took points off the board because I think we was in at least have a chance to get a field goal, or even maybe Arthur Smith gamble and go for it there on fourth down, but that penalty was huge for us, and that's something Drew Dalman is really not known for, to be a dirty player or anything like that. But it really was a costly penalty at that time. It's something that easily can be cleaned up, of course. But from an offensive standpoint, I thought the Atlanta Falcons kind of got back on track yesterday. However, there's still things they definitely need to work on moving forward. All right, let's go to the defense right now, which currently is sitting by 8th in the league of total defense. You have no choice but to admire what the Atlanta Falcons defense been doing. Only concern that I have, is that they've been playing so well. You don't want them to get discouraged, by the slow starts to offense. But yesterday it was really good. So many 3-and-outs. The Houston Texans was 4 for 13 on third down, and it's been that kind of story all year long for the Atlanta Falcons defense. They really been solid. 4 for 13 from a defensive standpoint. You have to like that. That's really what we like to see from that. They only gave up 64 yards rushing all day. Once again, outstanding performance from our defense, guys. You can't ask for anything better. The additions that the Atlanta Falcons made, that investment that they made this offseason from a free agent standpoint on the defensive side of the ball is really starting to pay off. And it continued to play off guys like Dave Amiyanda, and the pairing with Grady Jarrett has been special for us. Bud Dupree, his penetration, it's really been solid. Re-signing Lorenzo Carter, it's been great. Of course, Jesse Bates. I think Jeff Okudah is coming in his own. His physicality is showing up. AJ Terrell continue to be solid in coverage, and it's a great run defender as well. You like the aggressiveness from Richie Grant all over the board, guys. Our two linebackers, Caden Ellis and now Nate Landman, both has been playing solid. So this defense has really been solid. And then when you rotate the guys, like I said, the newly acquired Eli that came in on defense, Huggins really been solid. Zach Harrison's been solid. Armor Ebiketie, his pass rushes almost getting close, just like last year. We got to see him start to get home, but it's really been solid all the way around from a defensive standpoint. And only thing you can say yesterday at the end of the game, they got bit on a double move and they gave up the touchdown. But giving up once again, guys, 18 points in the game. If you can do that, well, 19 points. If you give up 19 points in the game, you can win a lot of games in this NFL. That's really by the average what Atlanta Falcons defense been at right now, by 19 to 20 points a game. You can't ask for more than that from a defensive standpoint. And believe it or not, I'm just going to say this. I know Ryan Nielsen came in, but the Atlanta Falcons started a trend in this way last season by 20 points a game. If you look at the last 8 games of the season, the Atlanta Falcons defense only giving up about 20 points a game. So the defense is already starting to trend. They continue to trend in this direction. By the end of the season, they can be a top 10 defense. They are already there, but they definitely, have opportunity to get to where we want to see them at. The biggest thing, we hold them to 1-3 in the red zone. So, like I said, yes, they got down to the red zone. Of course, a couple of times it was on turnovers, right? Got in the red zone. But even when they do get there, we're giving up 3 instead of 7. That's a win for any defense when you're giving up only 3 points, especially when they get in the red zone, because it's hard to win when you're just putting up 3 points. The red zone stats, third down stats are really important. So once again, the Atlanta Falcons defense was 1-3 in the red zone. That's really great. And there was 4 for had the Texans offense 4 for 13 on third down conversions. That's winning formula for any defense, any team, any head coach will like that. If you can make it better than that, yes, by all means, but those are good stats from a defensive standpoint. So that's what I like about from our defense. Overall, it's not a whole lot to say. Only thing that I can harp on our defense about, of course, Jesse Bates not coming down with that interception. That probably game right there, and then giving up that touchdown at the end. But giving up 19 points, that's why it's a team sport. You know, been battling all day. Other teams, got to say too, made a great move by Dalton Schultz, and to have Jesse Bates bite up on that sluggo that he actually scored on. So that's one of the things that you cannot, you know, it happens, and that's what it boils down to on that one play for that touchdown that they gave up. So that's the one. Yes, it was at a crucial moment. It was at end the game. But like they said, they left too much time on the clock, minute and 49 seconds with 3 touchdowns, and our offense was able to deliver. All right, guys. That's pretty much all I got for the defense. I thought the defense played solid. I already highlighted the guys that really, shined on defense. The Alford, um, like I said, Bud Dupree had great plays. Um, our interior with Grady, and Yada. Our linebackers play solid. Our secondary continue to play solid. They just need to keep it up. Got a great challenge coming in this week with a gunslinger and Sam Howell. Got good role players and Logan Thomas, Terry McLaurin, Robinson, who actually ran through our defense last year. Gonna be interesting to see us, shut down that run game for Washington. But we'll get into the keys to victory for the Washington game here on Wednesday. All right. So, guys, with that being said, Victory Monday, we got to look at the positives and the negatives from the game. Um, Real quick, we'll go to the negatives first. The negatives is because we end off on the positives today. The negatives, of course, slow starts on the offense. We cannot have the slow starts. We can't continue to doing this. Um, we want to be able to start off faster. So that's definitely a negative. The turnovers, we have to stop the turnovers. We had 7 penalties. We need to cut down on the penalties. Atlanta Falcons one of the least penalized teams last season. So that's one of the things that we got to stop doing, the penalties, the turnover, the penalties, the slow starts. We definitely need to stop that. No sacks once again from our defense. Definitely a negative. One pressure our game, one hit on the quarterback. We can't have that. I'm gonna take that back. We had more pressures, but one hit on the quarterback definitely is not a good thing with 0 sacks. So those are the negative things that you can take from a win. You can go back, you try to get back to the drawing board. Like I said yesterday, I really believe those sacks will come in bunches, hopefully, because they are getting pressure on the quarterbacks. You got to give credit to these quarterbacks. They're getting out of pocket, throwing the ball away, not completing the passes, but getting out of harm's way, getting rid of the ball when they do get pressured. And you have to tip your head off those guys. And plus, some of these guys are more mobile, even though that's what pretty much the whole lead is going now to mobile quarterbacks. So you're not going to have a guy just standing in a pocket, right? But we got to be able to get those sacks, continue to get the pressures, and I you have to give CJ Stroud his props. He actually played really well yesterday for a rookie quarterback. I think they have him playing solid football, and the sky's the limit because to be able to come out and play like that, just having 5 starts on your belt, you gotta like what you've seen for CJ Stroud so far. So that's really impressive what we're taking from CJ Stroud. From a negative standpoint, I think that's where it ends, guys. Turnovers, slow starts, no sacks, and 1 quarterback hit. That's not good. So we need to clean up those things. And it's good to talk about clean up things like that on the Victory Monday. All right, from the positive standpoints, like I said, the balance was really, really outstanding yesterday. 36 to 38, run pass balance. Everybody got to touch the ball. Zero sacks from our offensive line. Desmond Ritter had a great bounce back game, so you gotta like that. The defense continued to play well, only giving up 64 yards rushing. Um, Once again, 4 for 13 on third down, all positive things. So you really got to like what you have seen from a defensive standpoint, positive vibes. And the last but not least, once again, talking about the home field advantage that we are starting to create here in Atlanta. You got to like that. So those are all the positive things that I took from the game. All right. Hopefully we leave off with those positive things. And last but not least, guys, I'm going to talk about Desmond Ritter. And all I'm gonna say about Desmond Ritter is that he took the scrutiny all last week. Even from myself, I definitely was hard on him. He had the bounce back game, and he went through it with flying colors. Now the question is, can you start to do that consistently? No quarterback is going to not mess up again, in their career. Every quarterback is going to have turnovers, things like that. That happens. But, you know, once again, one of the things that I talked about last week was not being the reason why you lose and why you want to be the reason why we win, right? So Desmond Ritter had a great game, great response. That's what you really want to see from any young professional player, not just a quarterback, but for any guy that have a bad performance the day before, the week before, anything like that. You want to see how they respond, especially in this position, the quarterback position, guy that potentially could be the face of your franchise. You definitely want to see how he respond with all the scrutiny, all the criticism that he took last week. People really wanted to oust him out. And then to top it off, the way we started this game, um, didn't get down, continued to play well. One thing that impressed me about Desmond Ritter the most in this game was the way he actually looked off, the opponents and came backside and made some great throws. So it's something that we talked about, staring down receivers. It seems that he self-corrected himself. Um, and if you look at what Desmond Ritter was able to do in the third and the fourth quarter in this game, I think he had 2 incompletions in third and fourth quarter. That just tell you that Desmond Ritter, once again, is able to, as the game gets better. He just have to start and learn to be able to start from the first snap of the game to do that for 60 minutes. So if he's able to harness those things that he do in the third and fourth quarter that he has shown us, especially at home, um, these 5 starts that he had at home, definitely I think Desmond Ritter definitely could be something special. I'm just going to go ahead and say that because the way he plays at home, especially in the second half of games, has really been something you know, really refreshing and really exciting to see because he really plays good, solid, um, clutch football in the third and fourth quarter, in our home. If he can some kind of harness that to make it when he start in the game and then also take that on the road, I think this is going to be something for Desmond Ritter. No, it's just one game. No reason to say that the criticism and all the scrutiny is not going to continue to be on Desmond Ritter because you can't come out and have a performance like you had yesterday, 329 yards, no picks, 2 touchdowns, and then the next day come back and next week come back and regress. That's not what we want to see. We want to see some consistency, throughout the weeks. It's just your ninth start. Next week could be your 10th start. We expect you to build on what we just seen. Of course, you're going up against a different opponent, different schemes and everything like that. Get different game plan. So might not throw for 300 yards, but at the same time, once again, I'm going to say this: don't be the reason why the Atlanta Falcons don't win the game. don't be the reason why you will be the conversation of, the next week. So, guys, let me know what you think about this, Ritter. Let me know what you think about offense, defense, all those positives and negatives that we talked about, and how these Atlanta Falcons can build off what we just did, getting back on the winning track. Happy for everybody. Victory Monday. Don't look like it's gonna be a victory for our Braves. It look like our Braves about to go 0-2. It's 8 o'clock Eastern right now. It's the 6th inning. Maybe they can turn it around, but at this point in time, it look like the Atlanta Braves gonna go 0-2. So let's put our rally caps on, start to get our chops out, see can we get the Braves to come back and try to tie this thing up. Great season they had, but a great season can go to waste real quick if you get put out in NLDS. So let's go Braves. That's all I have. Thank you guys for coming in today, talking with your boy. This is your boy Rakundo. Come back at you with another video. Peace.